Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to be talking about 7 reasons why you may not want to buy the new Subaru WRX STI. Now this car has seen a lot of love on my channel and that's because I think it's a really cool car, but it's time that I'm honest and talk about some of the drawbacks of this vehicle because, you know, compared to some of the vehicles out there today, it doesn't stack up quite as well. So the first thing I want to touch on is this engine and talk about how, you know, it doesn't really have a low end. There's newer technologies out there today that are becoming more standard, such as twin scroll turbochargers, and a lot of turbocharged engines are reaching peak torque very early on. This isn't hitting it until about 4,000 RPM, whereas there's vehicles like the Mustang EcoBoost, the Volkswagen Golf R, and even the Subaru WRX, which are reaching peak torque earlier on and maintaining that peak torque through a decent rev range, whereas this is all on the top end. All of your power is at the top end for this vehicle, so you've got to keep the revs high if you want to keep putting power down. That leads me to number 2, which also has to do with the engine, and that's turbo lag. Unless you're screaming at about 5,000 RPM, turbo lag is an issue with this car. You know, there is a noticeable delay at the lower RPMs where peak boost is still available. It just takes a while for it to get there. So I'm in 3rd gear right now. It's about 3,000 RPM. And as we get to a part where we straighten out, I'll go ahead and put my foot down, and you can see the boost gauge slowly build and then finally hit 15. And there are definitely cars out there which can hit peak boost earlier on once you do put your foot down. So turbo lag is something noticeable in this car where you kind of get slammed with the power rather than having it instantly available when you put your foot down. Number 3, and we're going to continue on with the theme of this engine. It's an old, really inefficient engine. This car is getting 17 in the city, 23 on the highway. And not that STI owners have to care that much about fuel economy, but the range of this vehicle is also very low. So you look at the fuel gauge and it's constantly dropping. I mean, literally every trip you take, you can watch that needle move. So you do have to visit the pump often because the fuel tank is actually a gallon smaller than last year, or the previous generation rather, but yet, you know, the fuel economy hasn't improved. So you are going to be making frequent stops to the gas station, and by today's standards, 23 miles per gallon on the highway is not impressive. There are trucks doing that, and so it's just kind of embarrassing that that's where the STI is still sitting, and it has to do with the fact that this engine has been around for a very long time. Now, number 4 is the fact that they no longer offer the hatchback, and this was actually the entire reason why I went with a 2014 STI rather than the 2015, was because they dropped that option. And there's really not any performance differences between them. The hatchback is a little bit shorter in length and it weighs a little bit less, but nothing significant. The biggest difference really is just that it has so much more cargo space. And I actually took a weekend trip with some friends. There was 5 of us, and you know, we were able to fit all of our stuff in the back of the hatch. 5 people piled in the car. Yes, it was a bit cramped for 5 adults, but we made it happen, and we got somewhere. And no, I couldn't see out the back. There was no rear visibility, but the fact was we had enough space to put all of our crap in there. And you can't really do that with this sedan. You know, it doesn't have nearly as much cargo space. So that is one of the downsides, and I really do wish they still offered it. Another thing is the sedan is kind of polarizing, whereas the styling of the hatchback wasn't so polarizing. Whether or not you like the big wing in the back, which I think is pretty cool, it's definitely very boy racer-ish. And so, you know, having that, some people don't want to have it. They think, you know, it's just for like young kids or whatever. I think it's pretty cool. You know, perhaps that's because of my age, but regardless, it is a polarizing subject, that giant wing on the back of the car. Now, number 5 is the interior noise levels, and you've probably noticed that already in this video as it picks up some of the stuff from the ground and throws it around in the wheel wells, but that's not really what I'm talking about. The tire noise and the wind noise on the highway is really bad. It's really honestly not that great, even considering that this is a sports car and that, you know, weight reduction is the primary concern, so you don't really want to be concerned with noise levels on the interior. There are many vehicles which are lighter than this, which yet have better interior noise levels. So on the highway, I was looking at the low 80s for decibel levels at about 65 miles per hour, and most cars I test tend to be in the 70s range. So by today's standards, it is pretty noisy on the road. Now, is it that big of a deal? I don't really think so. I live with one and it doesn't bother me that much, but it's something worth noting that if you are considering getting this car, to know that, you know, the interior noise levels are going to be louder than most of the vehicles out there. Now, number 6 is a vehicle, and number 7 is also going to be a vehicle, and I'm going to start with the Subaru WRX, because on the road, if you're not on a track, the Subaru WRX, it has better low-end torque, it has less turbo lag, it gets significantly better fuel economy, and it weighs less. And so there's a lot of reasons why you might want to choose the WRX, which is significantly cheaper and yet has all these benefits over the STI with its outdated engine. The new FA20 is a phenomenal engine, very strong, and incredible fuel economy. So it was really crazy. You know, I was getting 35 miles per gallon in the WRX, and that is literally impossible in this vehicle. One time in my STI, I think I did around 30 miles per gallon. And that was coming back from Crater Lake where there was a big elevation change. But overall, you know, it's pretty challenging to get good fuel economy in these. In my own testing, I did about 25 in this, which isn't that bad, all things considered, but that's pretty much a best case scenario. So I think, you know, just based on the Subaru WRX's speed, you know, 0 to 60, it's pretty much the same. And part of that has to do with its gearing, but regardless, it's a quick car. You know, there's a lot of argument for why on the street, you really don't need an STI, and the WRX offers pretty much all it offers, but for less money. Now, you won't get the tricky differentials or the really nice brakes, so there definitely are traction benefits of the STI, but regardless, I think for most drivers, the WRX is going to be the package that will suit their needs. Now, number 7, and I think this may be the biggest reason why you may just want to wait this out, is that the Ford Focus RS is just around the corner. It's a hot hatchback, 350 horsepower. It's going to offer a 6-speed manual transmission, all-wheel drive. It's pretty much everything I love in a car, and that's going to be coming out next year. And so, you know, considering the power levels of this car, considering how dated the engine is, and the fact that that Focus RS is going to come in at a very similar price point, but have pretty much 50 more horsepower, I think that's going to be a really fun car to drive. And it looks like it's going to be lighter as well. So less weight, more power, same price point, hot hatchback. You know, I'm in love with that theory, that design philosophy. And so I really hope it's as awesome as it sounds on paper. And I think it's certainly something worth waiting for to check out. So thank you guys for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below.